From Central Indiana's #1 news source, this is Fox 59 Tonight.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us here on Fox 59 Tonight. I'm Cameron Riddle. We appreciate you downloading our new Smart TV app on your Roku, Fire TV, or Apple TV. Just look for that pretty blue logo right there called Fox 59 Now. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss any of the conversations that we have every night at 8 o'clock here on Fox 59 Tonight. Something that is supposed to be the American dream is supposed to be owning a house, with the family and the white picket fence, all that jazz. But home ownership is not always attainable for a lot of people. But there are more solutions than people think that are out there to help people achieve that dream of having a home. Apartments are expensive. Apartment rent is often more times more expensive than your home mortgage. And so oftentimes people can qualify for an expensive apartment, but can't qualify for a loan to get a mortgage. But there are resources out there. We're going to introduce you to the acronym NACA. We'll tell you what that means, what they do, and how they are here to help you specifically in the Indianapolis area to get into your home. There are all kinds of resources that are just waiting for you, and someone who has made it their mission to make sure that you know about these resources is in our studio. She is Mrs. Archie, known as the financial farmer. Mrs. Archie, thank you for coming on and explaining to us all these resources that NACA has, and work that, let's be honest, you have really tried to get see happen here in Indianapolis.
Yes, I've started in July 2023, really working with NACA corporate office to actually one of their representatives to bring a NACA office here and to bring an Achieve the Dream event called the ATD. I'm grateful to say God has blessed us tremendously that we are going to open a NACA office for the state of Indiana that will serve the entire Midwest here in Indianapolis. And we are going to have an Achieve the Dream event. Achieve the Dream event, which we refer to as an ATD, is a 3-day event. It is happening June 27th, 28th, and 29th at the Indiana Fairgrounds. During that event, believe it or not, individuals can be qualified to purchase a home. They can go through the entire loan process in 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days. You can come and not know anything about NACA, and if you have everything needed, you can leave with an approved loan to go and search for your home.
So NACA, that's an acronym,
Yes,
and it stands for the
Neighborhood
Neighborhood Assistance
Assistance
Corporation
Corporation
of
of
America.
America.
And so this is their mission to help people uh, be able to buy a home.
Exactly. And
So
they've removed every single barrier from home ownership.
So when I first met you, maybe a year or so ago,
Exactly.
this was NACA wasn't rooted the way it is in Indianapolis and Indiana, the way it is now. Explain what happened over the past year.
Okay, NACA did not have a presence at all in Indiana. And we met, and I was on your show last year. I think it was in May of last year. And at that time, we were fighting to try to get an office here to bring awareness to NACA. And we were able to do that. We've had loyal supporters, some volunteers. Very few people did a lot of work. And I'm grateful for every last one of them. Individuals like you who had a platform have helped out. Ms. Tina Cosby has helped out. Representative Bartlett has been amazing in all he's done to help us. And we've had some volunteers in the community. The CDCs have helped out a lot. Just individuals who put the word out for us. So many of them, it's too many to name, to help us get the word out. So now we're at the point that NACA is convinced we can host an ATD. Believe me, this is not something that happens quickly or easily in NACA. We have been able to do something that's unheard of to within from 2023 of July to June of 2025, hosting an ATD, Achieve the Dream, and open a NACA office is a miracle in itself. And I say it is a miracle. We did not do this by human power. This was a supernatural event that's happening and how that went about and all that have helped us. Now, what's significant about NACA, how it has removed all the barriers, is you can purchase a home with NACA with no money down,
Mhm.
no closing costs, no mortgage insurance, guaranteed below interest rate, market interest rate, um, no consideration of credit score. So
Mhm.
all those people who are trying to raise their credit score, get their credit right before they even attempt to purchase a home, NACA does not even consider that. They go on character-based lending. What you said earlier at the beginning of the segment, if you can pay rent, if you can pay your light and gas and water and your basic living expenses, you can purchase a home. So if you can pay rent, you can purchase a home with about the same mortgage in it.
Mhm.
And that's the way they look at character based lending, not based on your credit score, because no one's credit score is a sum total of that individual.
Mhm.
There are many things happen. There could have been a medical emergency. There could have been a loss of jobs. There could have been a death in the family of the breadwinner. So many things. So that's why NACA does not consider that. Get this, if you have a Section 8 voucher, you can use your Section 8 voucher payments to now purchase a home for your family, starting that foundation of generational wealth by purchasing a home using your Section 8 voucher. So instead of paying someone rent with your Section 8 voucher, move your family into home ownership. In addition to that, if you have a felony on your record, you can purchase a home through NACA as long as as long as that felony is not against NACA or Bank of America.
So the trick here is, like we talked about. There's a lot of people who um, go do their they pay rent, you pay a deposit, and that rent is oftentimes higher than it is to actually have
A
a
mortgage.
mortgage.
Correct.
And then you go to a loan company and they say, well, we don't know that you can pay uh, $1,800 in rent, but you're paying $2,500 a month, $1,800 in a mortgage, but
Hmm.
you're paying $2,500 a month in rent. And so that one is just discouraging for people, and they think, well, I'll never own a home. And then
Exactly.
people also, there are costs of dealing of owning your home, and people say, well, it's just easier, it's less trouble. If something goes out at the house or at the apartment, I call the maintenance man, they
Hmm.
come fix it. But at the end of all that, you don't own anything,
Exactly.
and that
Exactly.
still is there's equity that you get from owning a home, and there is value in having something that belongs to you.
Exactly. You know, no one can control rents.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get into a home locked in with a fixed rate, you know that you have the same amount you're going to pay every month.
Mm-hmm.
We had a family, I have a nonprofit, and we had two families that had to move
Mm-hmm.
because their rent went up $400 a month.
Mm-hmm.
But their pay did not go up
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
$400 a month. So what do you do when your rent go up $400 a month and your pay is the same? That creates a financial burden on that family.
Mm-hmm.
And then try to move into another apartment, first, last, and deposit, and even more rent. So you have no other choice but either be homeless or have a family or friends that'll let you move into
Mm-hmm.
your home, into their home. So we're trying to stop that, and we want people to start building a wealth through their homes. And this is the only way to do it is to get a mortgage. All the barriers have been removed. So anyone who's saying that they want to stay in an apartment because they don't have to do anything, so be it.
Mm-hmm.
There are millions of people who want to have a home. The good thing about NACA is once you become a NACA member, get your NACA ID, you can use it anywhere in the United States. So you may live in Indiana and get moved 2 months from now, you can buy a home somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in California, you move to Indiana, you can, and you have a NACA number, you can still use NACA anywhere. They have online counselors that work all across the United States. And like I said, once a member, always a member. And you can use that to buy a home already built. You can build from the ground up, or you can renovate. You can buy a single, a double, a triple, or a quad.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're 18 and have a reliable job that can cover your mortgage and have been working on that job for 1 year,
Mm-hmm.
a solid 1 year, you are eligible for a NACA loan. So you no longer have to get out of college, work 10 years, save 20, $30,000 down, have good credit or perfect, near perfect credit.
Mm-hmm.
You can get out of college or while in college if you can afford it and purchase a home.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking to the young people as well as the senior citizens, as well as veterans, as well as Section 8.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone that wants a home, there's no excuse for it. If they come to the fairgrounds on the 27th, 28th, and 29th of June from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. each day, they can qualify for a home.
Now, people may be asking, where has this been? Why have I never heard of it? We alluded to it a little bit ago. NACA's been around, just
Yes,
not in Indiana.
yes.
What happened? And one of the things we talked about a year ago, when we talk about people who want to stay in an apartment and all of that, we've talked about how this is not a friendly state. If you're a tenant, it is very
Exactly.
pro landlord,
It
and
is.
so if that could be a recipe for a trap, for a disaster, if you think you can only stay in an apartment and then landlords realize that you realize that. You're like, well, where are you going to go? I can treat you however I want because you're always going to rent an apartment.
And for every 100 need of affordable housing, there's only 38.
Mm,
For every 100,
mm-hmm,
that's only 38.
mm,
What happens to the rest?
mm-hmm,
You're at the mercy of whoever you can get. That's why we have slumlords,
mm-hmm.
because they know that there's a shortage in housing. That's why individuals need to get their own homes so that once they are in their own homes, they can control their own standard of living. And when you asked about, NACA did try to come to the state of Indiana before,
Mm-hmm.
but we could not get the support. Was not involved. I didn't even know it until I spoke with the CEO, and he explained to me that they had tried to come to the state of Indiana, and there was not the support they needed to get that going. So now I have worked over the last year and a half to make sure we get the word out as much as I possibly could. And now we have a presence, but we have to make sure we get our numbers. Our goal is 35,000 on between those 3 days,
Mm-hmm.
37 and the 27th, 28th, 29th of June, because that will prove to NACA we have a need here. We want NACA here. We have people to serve here, and we want a permanent office in NACA, a NACA office here in Indiana. Now, when we get that office open, we're going to hire people there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's economic empowerment. Not only are we going to hire people in the office, they're going to hire people to work from online. At the ADT, you may not even come for a home, but they will bring their HR department with them, and they will be taking resumes and speaking to people individually at that ATD. They have a whole section just for their HR department.
So, what did you do to get NACA to come here? Did you have to go to lawmakers and say, "Hey, we need you to do X, Y, and Z"? What was that process?
No, I work with families and paying debt off and a fraction of the time using an algorithm. And a family I was working with to purchase a home and to get their debt paid off actually had to go out of state to one of these events. And when they had to go out of state to one of these events, it was very challenging for them financially to do it and with their 4 children. So when that happened, I had already been emailing NACA and calling NACA, trying to talk to someone to listen to what I want to say. But I think because I was telling them I want NACA to come to Indiana,
Mm-hmm.
one, they weren't the people answering the phone was not in a position to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then two, um, that's not the way NACA come to a state. So I never could get any traction. And then July 18th, I think it was, I kind of changed my personality a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And someone called me back that night. I wasn't indignant,
Uh-huh.
but I did change up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And the lady who called me, Miss Jeter, started working with me. And she worked with me every week on a Monday at noon for 30 minutes. She would get on a call to help me strategize making this happen. And then I finally, after a couple of weeks, told her, hey, I really need to talk to the CEO. I want him to understand why we need to do this. We don't have time to have these little meetings. We don't have time to let the system work or
Mm-hmm.
the way they do it work. We want to bring this now. And she was able to arrange that for us. I talked with him in August, and by August 24th, we had a memorandum of understanding that we could open an office here and work on bringing our ATD here. That was August of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And we started having our information sessions, our home buyer sessions in 2025. Um, in May 10th was the first one. And then 2024, I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
2024. And then we had two in June. We had one in Anderson, one in Evansville. and want to have them throughout the state because this is for the entire state. And then we started working on the ATD and working on getting the office. We have a generous company here that's made a lot of concessions. I hope that that deal goes through. And once that deal goes through, we will be able to open our office here.
So you've got a big event coming up that you want people to come and see, and participate and sign up, coming up on June 27th. This begins June 27th through June 29th at the State Fairgrounds, as you mentioned earlier.
Hmm.
What happens at this event?
Well, at the event, when you first come in, of course, there's a big greeting. The CEO, if he's, unless something's happening, he's always there to greet the participants. Everyone come based on what you're there for. If you do not have a NACA number, they'll direct you to the section where you go get your NACA number first. If you have a small business and you want to buy a home, then they'll direct you to that location. If you're there for HR, they'll direct you to that location. If you're there to scan your documents, they'll direct you to that location. If you're there to meet with a counselor and move through the process, they'll direct you to that process. And the good part about it, NACA has its own underwriting department.
Mm.
They bring those underwriters with them. So counselors are here, underwriters are across the aisle or in another room.
Mm-hmm.
If there's an issue like a credit score or something, and there's an issue with what they need to talk to her, they don't have to wait and say, okay, we got to send this to underwriting, let
Mm-hmm.
that get approved and come back. They can just get up and go across the aisle and or in the next room and say, "This is the situation. What do we do?
Mm-hmm.
Is this okay?" The underwriters will give them a solution or tell them what they need to do, and then they go back to the client and the prospective homeowner, and from there they process it, and that's how you can process the entire loan through that whole day. You can scan your documents, you can talk to a counselor, they can talk to underwriting. You go through the whole process if you're ready. If you come on Friday, and I suggest people come on Friday, the
Mm-hmm.
reason being you'll find out everything you need. If you come on Friday, you get your NACA number, you start scanning what documents you bring, you talk to a counselor, they give you a checklist and say, hey, you're missing this, this, and this. You can go home Friday, get those documents, come back on Saturday. Now you just go straight to scanning.
Mm-hmm.
Scan those documents, go back and talk to another counselor. If you have everything, they can let underwriting look at it. If everything is good to go, you're good to go. If they say, hey, you need some more documents, go home, get those, come back on Sunday or come back later
Mm-hmm.
Saturday night. We're open to 8 a.m., 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So you can literally come back the same day and get it. It just depends on if you really want this. Nothing is going to be given to you on a platter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, NACA has taken away every barrier. Anyone who say, "Oh, that's just too much," well, you don't need a home in the
Mm-hmm.
first place,
Mm-hmm.
and that just doesn't make sense. So that's how you can go through the process. On that Friday at noon, we're having a leadership meeting. The CEO of NACA wants to meet with the leaders of Indianapolis and Indiana to see how to use their $20 billion with a B. They have $20 billion for home purchasing.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to see where do we need to concentrate these dollars?
Mm-hmm.
What part of the city? Who's in most need? So we need
Mm-hmm.
politicians, we need neighborhood organizers, neighbor community organizers, uh, nonprofits. We need church leaders. We need organizational leaders. We need CDC leaders. Anyone we need the media there. The media needs to be there as well, letting the community know what's happening.
What
Um,
kind of response are you getting from city leaders and community organizers that you just called on to say, hey, where can we help?
well, it's slow.
Mm-hmm.
Let me put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand why. They don't know me, they don't know NACA. And so getting through gatekeepers, especially in churches and political leaders, is very hard.
Mm-hmm.
You call, and one, the people who answer the phone don't know anything about NACA. They don't know
Mm-hmm.
who to direct you to. If you say you want to talk to a certain person, oh, you got to go through this person, that person. So it really becomes a stalemate in trying to do it. I have been able to get someone. I want to really shout out to Miss Chris Tolliver. over at Avondale Meadows,
Hmm.
who has taken it up on himself to help me get talk to some community leaders. Like I say, Representative Bartlett has been wonderful in doing that as well. Of course, Tina Cosby and you bringing me on your show. I'll be on her show on the 18th of this month. And, just individuals like that have helped a lot. Um, I have to say, I don't know if you know Joy Harmon of the Success Plug.
Okay.
She plugs you in.
Okay.
And she has been left and right plugging me in to different individuals, organizations, and leaders. That's what her company. She has a consulting company called the Success Plug.
Hmm.
And so she likes to plug people in. And that's been a tremendous help. I have a gentleman actually that lives in Michigan,
Okay.
Walter Nelson, who has come here and he does business here. He was referred to me. When I say that gentleman has gone all out to help me, he came in for about 3 days, and when I said he hit the ground running, he has done that. Miss Carson, Brianna Bible, Miss Mindy Carson. And the reason why I call those names, because they have been so instrumental. When I look at Mia Smart, who has really been instrumental in helping us get our location for the NACA office and the um, NACA ADT.
Hmm.
Bianca Smith, who's on our board that has been tremendous in helping us to do anything. Arian Bailey. These are the names of the individuals who have really helped us a lot. Mr. and Mrs. Kraft, who are volunteers. And we have a number of other volunteers who are pushing the media out. I just spoke to Miss Carmen with the Black Dollar
Hmm.
this
Hmm.
weekend,
Hmm.
and she's actually starting to help me. So we need people like that with platforms like the Black Dollar
Hmm.
that's willing to help push this out. We need 35,000 people to walk through those doors
Right.
because you have to look at this. This is not about people who have homes. This is about people who don't have homes. This is about the next generation. I have 3 adult children. I'm encouraging all of them to get a home,
Hmm.
to go through the NACA process. And if you're not ready right now, come and get your number. Come and see what the event is like. Refer other people. If we had every single individual to invite 10, we would not be able to handle the crowd.
So let me ask you, because I noticed this on their website, because you just mentioned people who have a home. It looks like they've got programming for if you have a home, trying to keep your home as
They
well,
do.
because we know with some of the things that happen with property taxes and home values, that people are having trouble, especially being on a fixed income, staying in their homes.
hmm
They can NACA can help with that too.
Well, NACA has the Home Save program.
Hmm.
That's what that is, Home Save. NACA believes in fighting against financial exploitation
Hmm.
and financial injustice, and not just in the mortgage. And it's so much that other things that they do that I don't want to divert from it, but they offer a small business loan
Hmm.
and it's unbelievable. So if you want to learn about these things, come to the ATD and there's someone who can take you to the side and talk with you. And I'm going to actually see, now that I'm saying this, I'm going to actually talk to them about having a session for small business owners
Hmm.
about their loan that they offer. And the terms and the way they approve it is unbelievable.
Hmm.
This is the same way they are doing for homes. It's the same way they're trying to work with businesses because they know of so many financial injustices across so many different platforms. It's just not just mortgages.
Hmm.
It's the car industry. It's the student loans. It's the home loans. It's repairs. Redlining. All those things that cause issues with a family. And it's not that people don't want to take care of their homes or they don't
Hmm.
want to buy homes. It's so many barriers that cause them to just give up
Hmm.
or just like, I'm tired. Maybe I'll attack it next year. We don't have to do that anymore. We just need to come out, be ready, be energized, be ready to look, pack your lunch, you know, bring some water, whatever
Hmm.
you have to do. Bring your walking shoes. If you need to, bring a special chair to sit in. Whatever it takes to get through that process for you and your family, you need to be at that ATD. And if you're a leader in this community, you need to be at that luncheon with the CEO, hear it from the horse's mouth what they want to do with $20 billion. Not only that, on that Saturday, we don't have the time. The leadership luncheon on Friday is at noon,
Hmm.
but we don't have the time for the real estate developers, contractors, realtors, insurance agents, the tradesmen, anything dealing with home ownership, inspectors. They're going to need all of these as we start pumping people through
Mm-hmm.
the loan process. If we could process, out of that 35,000, 10,000 loans a day. There's no realtor, one single realtor that can really handle that. We need a whole group. We
Mm-hmm.
need an army of people in that space.
Mm-hmm.
We need contractors building. We need people who can do renovation. We need insurance agents who can provide good insurance and honest insurance policies. We need inspectors who can do that. NACA has an area for that. They have referral agents and in-house agents. The in-house agents won't be enough to handle this. We need referral agents as well.
So
So
let me direct people to now that you've called out this list. I want to direct people to the website for the event, NACA NACA.com.
yes.
At the top, you'll find a red banner. I'm showing it to
Yes.
you on the website right now. So you go to the
Mhm.
website, you'll see this upcoming Achieve the Dream events in Indianapolis. So you're going to click there. It'll take you to this list, show you some of the things that we've talked about here about the event, but then you can also register. And that page looks like this. So again, that is Friday, June 27th through the 29th at the Indiana State Fairgrounds, 1202 East 38th Street here in Indianapolis. Sign up, put this information in so that when you show up, they'll be there from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. each day. Do you know where at the fairgrounds will be for people to be able to figure it out?
Oh, they're going to be able to figure it out. It's
Okay.
going to be plenty of signs, plenty of volunteers in yellow shirts. But right now, it's at the expo hall.
Okay.
But there will be people travel in to NACA events, and the reason being, in order to be a NACA homeowner, you're required to do volunteer hours.
Mm-hmm.
But people are so bought into the mission
Mm-hmm.
and what NACA has done for them, they will actually travel and volunteer. So
Mm-hmm.
they'll bring in hundreds of volunteers.
Some people to
uh,
testify.
Yes, and to help others.
Mm-hmm.
They want people to know, they want to make it comfortable, they want to make sure you get everything in your hands you need. So these volunteers, some people have been volunteering for 20 years
Mm-hmm.
and they travel. That's part of their retirement. Some of them, they don't even have a home now. I mean, they pay for their home.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't have to do this. They do this on their own.
Mrs. Archie, thank you for what you have done with this because there's
Thank
been a
you.
lot that you personally have put in and continue to put in to make
Thank
sure
you.
that people have an opportunity to own a home. And again, the details on this June 27th through June 29th, Indiana State Fairgrounds, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sign up,
Mhm.
NACA, NACA.com. Register so they have your information so that you can get help with the American dream, which is owning a home. Thank you again,
Exactly.
Mrs. Archie.
Thank you. I appreciate your help.
Absolutely. More Fox 59 tonight is coming up right here on Fox 59 Now. We'll be right back.